Good morning. We just woke up. Right now we are in National Forest land right outside of Bend still. From our previous either episode or whatever. We can cut that part out. Eric's in the back. Staying nice and toasty and warm. So today we are going to head over to Crater Lake. But first, we are going to get some coffee. So we just finished having coffee and some bagels with cream cheese at Thump Coffee. Eric's making fun of me because I can't talk sometimes. First we have to go get gas at some place Eric mapped us at, and then we're going to continue on to Crater Lake. We were hoping to be able to go swimming at Crater Lake since, you know, we're always on the lookout to get clean. And dip our bodies into water, but it seems like the only way to get into Crater Lake and swim legally is to descend 700 feet in one little section of the lake. So I'm not sure if we're gonna do that. I'm not sure if our adventure is that high today, so we'll see. Take a look at that line. This is seriously the longest line we've had to sit in to get into any of the national parks, and we've been to a lot of national parks.
We've also typically been going kind of on the off season or like really early in the mornings and stuff, but it's 11:30. Or it is what it is.
Lots of people. We're still waiting, in case you can't tell. Feel like we're getting closer.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
And we're in.
Yeah. So there's this meme that I saw floating around a couple weeks back, and it's like, what Instagram photos look like, and it's just like this beautiful, pristine photo of, you know, a national park or some natural phenomenon, whatever, some Instagrammable worthy photo that's just beautiful, and then it's the same photo, and it's like what it really looks like, and there's just like lines of cars, people all over the place, like just totally polluted with people. And
that's what's happening.
Kind of getting that feeling here at Crater Lake. We went to one of the main overlooks. We could hardly even drive through it. It was such a cluster.
Yeah, and that was on the road. Just people trying to
that was on the road. People.
There's a line getting into the parking lot just to get to an overlook.
The perimeter road was literally backed up for people trying to get into the parking lot to go to one of these overlooks.
And we were counting. We've been, in the past like 9 months, we've been to 9 or 10 national parks, and I think this is the this is the craziest one. And we went to all the Utah ones. We were in, you know, Yosemite earlier in this trip, And this is the craziest one, I think.
All right, we kind of found a spot that's not too crowded. But I was just telling Samantha that Crater Lake to me kind of reminds me of a giant emerald bay of Lake Tahoe, just because it's very blue and dark, and it has this island in the middle, which is kind of like a big version of that tiny little island in Emerald Bay. But anyway, yeah, right there. So I don't even remember what this national forest is called, but we're south of Crater Lake by maybe 15 minutes or so. And we drove around these little forest roads, and there were a couple places that were listed on our website that we used to find campsites. And most of them were taken, and it was kind of like, meh, we weren't really seeing anything. And we actually drove past this very site on the way in. But the part that we saw is probably what you see out there in the sun. It didn't look like much, and that's why we drove past it. But then on our way out, I noticed, like, oh, there's a little, like, hole behind it. So I got out and walked back here, and you go through this little tunnel of trees. It's pretty narrow. Fit through this little passageway, and then it just goes into this big canopy of trees. It's like a tunnel. If you listen real carefully, there's a creek running just maybe 20 yards out the right side out here. Okay, this is, not gonna lie, this is the coldest water yet.
Really?
Yeah, so you have that to look forward to. How's the water? Samantha, how's the water? Did you get clean? All right, we're just gonna go ahead and do it. We're gonna have the last consecration since it's our last night and we only got one left. It only really makes sense. Dinner right now. Look at out my view cooking dinner. Like, this is what I'm looking at out the screen. It's so legit. And then right down here, got the old rice cooking. Over here we got Samantha listening to music. Just being goofy. Hey Samantha, would you like to explain to us what exactly happened after we poured that last consecration? Make it quick.
The wind picked up.
If you see behind me, there was a speaker back there in the trunk, and Samantha was adjusting it, and then she came.
Because someone was trying to come to our
No,
campsite.
that doesn't matter. She came back. She came back to the table, so excited and flailing her arm, and it just went wham, and everything went in slow motion.
Was
gone.
The moral of the story is that when you are on National Forest land or BLM land, you should not be trying to come in this close to someone else's campsite. Like, don't do that, because then it has repercussions, like wasting money and beer.
Thank you for the lesson, Samantha. Everybody will definitely appreciate that, and maybe the word will spread over the YouTubes. Don't park next to anyone on National Forest land.
Why would you?
There's room for everybody.
Just not next to me.
Any last words, Samantha?
Good
All right.
night.
Good night.